Hey guys, T-Spiro here. Just gonna do another quick little tutorial today. We're gonna try and make a bass like this. Okay, so to get started, we are going to use Vital. This is a free instrument that you can download. It's very powerful. So you can go up here to these three bars. We're just gonna initialize this preset so everything goes back to its default positions. So right now we're starting with this saw. We're going to go ahead and change that. We're going to go to Factory, Basic Shapes, and we're going to start with this sine wave instead. We're going to turn the phase to 0%, the phase randomization. That's going to ensure that every time we hit the note, it's going to start right there at the beginning. And let's go ahead and turn this down 1 octave or 12 semitones. And the level, we're actually going to turn that all the way down. We're going to use this LFO to open and close the volume of this oscillator. Right now it's just the subtone, so you can't really hear too much, but we're going to keep that maxed out. We're going to turn on oscillator 2, and we'll turn the level all the way down, but we're not going to automate that one to come up and down. We're actually going to use this to frequency modulate the sine wave up here. So you just go down to this drop menu here. You can see that you can go through all of the values in here, and everything kind of has its own character, so you can make some really unique sounds doing this. Okay, we're going to go to oscillator 2, and I just really like the sound of this low-high fold. Already sounds really cool, and you can also, if you wanted to, you could put the LFO on the FM amount. You can come up with some really cool sounds that way. So down here, I like this type of bass to have a really heavy gliding between notes, so we're going to go ahead and crank that up. Turn on always glide and legato, and it's going to be about, let's do just over half a second. So now you can kind of hear that gliding between the notes. We're going to go ahead and turn the voices down to 1, so only one note can play at a time. So let's make this a little more interesting on LFO 1 here. So go into this little editing tool here. We're going to draw all these lines. So that's pretty cool, but we can probably make this even more interesting. So let's go ahead and draw a different kind of pattern into here. So here's a new pattern. Let's see how that sounds. And you can just keep manipulating all the different buttons until you get something that sounds close to what you want. If you wanted to, you could even put the LFO up here on the frequency modulation. You can get some really interesting sounds. If we go over here to the effects, I'm going to go ahead and add a chorus. This will just add a little bit of width to it. That's way too much for me, so I'm going to turn the mix down a little bit. There, that's sounding pretty cool. So I'm going to add a compressor on top of that. Let's lower the attack. We're going to turn each of these down just a little bit. So you can really hear the sound is now being compressed heavily. So, going to distort this now. We're going to go ahead and try a hard clip. I'm going to turn the drive almost all the way down. And we're also going to use LFO 1 to control this drive. Let's do a pretty heavy one. You can screw around with this and make all sorts of different noises that way. Lastly, I'm going to put a filter on here. I'm going to go ahead and select phaser, do positive, and let's turn the drive all the way up and see what we get. So you can screw around with all of these settings and make make something completely unique that's your own. And we're only making the sound basically out of a sine wave from just being modulated by the second oscillator. So have fun with this, make something cool.